Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back. It's 2021, and we are back, the first one this year for a whole pile of reasons. And I think people would be more excited to see us than they would see another episode of another film of Downton Abbey. Nice little background there, nice little sort of in the chat. If I was, would you believe, always fancying yourself in there. I'm Big Joe Shep. I'm your host for tonight, and you are very, very welcome back to a very special edition. First of this year of the CoffeeDog.ie Coffee and Chat Series, Episode 8. John, would you believe? Please welcome the main man himself, the founder, coffee aficionado, rugby man, all-round good guy, Johnny Pullen.
Joe, it's a pleasure. And I think this might be the first time my mother's seen me since 2020. So, Mum, happy Mother's Day. Love you. Hopefully see you soon.
Absolutely, and happy Mother's Day to everybody across the globe. For those who are celebrating, because it's celebrated in different years, different times zone across the year, isn't it? Yep. Australia, New Zealand's a different time of the year. And
I think it's one's a hallmark one, as in Mother's Day, and one's a imperial one, as in Mothering Sunday.
Oh, it's a good point. See, this is why you're on, sir, man of knowledge, expertise. Welcome back. Have you been well?
I've been okay. I'm getting by. It's challenging for everybody out there. And today was a good day. I spent some time with some friends, watched the rugby, had a magnificent Asian carpaccio from Stuart Smith, as you know. It's one day at a time, isn't it, really? Today was a good day. Yesterday was a good day. Tomorrow is Monday. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll make it a good day because we'll wake up in the morning. We'll have some CoffeeDog coffee like that to start us off the day, and the day will only get better indeed after that. So, on tonight's show, first of the year, we were asked if we could have some viewers' questions. Asked the main man. He said, "Of course we can." So tonight, a lot of people in the last 12 months have become new customers, new followers, and people wanted to know really the story. So we thought we'd go back a little bit in time, and we'd start 2021 with a range of stories that tell the story of CoffeeDog as it's going through. But all the questions are from customers or viewers that we've had. So, and that we'll do this once a quarter. So. We're going to look at CoffeeDog.ie, the background and the origins of it. We're going to look at coffee and what is it? What's a cherry? Interesting one. That people didn't realise that coffee comes from a cherry. So we're going to have a look at that one as well. Got a couple of videos to show you, and there'll be more of those over the next couple of months as well. Joint partnerships with coffee producers and local businesses. Why is that important? Because everybody knows that you do that and you speak about that all the time. Partnering with the ThreeBOD rugby group, some bloke called Big Joe Shep. That's why is that important? And why is rugby and coffee very, very common? So I was asked all the questions by people on that one. So we'll ask that. How can businesses and retailers get CoffeeDog products? And we'll have a look at a couple of those you worked with. And 2021, what does it hold? So if you've got any questions for John about anything to do with coffee, CoffeeDog, life, and everything, Brandon, lovely room. Is that your drawing room? Yes,
that's just
we've had a whole pile of work done.
That's the library.
That's the library. We've had a whole pile of work done in the last 12 months. Here we go. Straight onto it. You're welcome to tonight. If you've got any questions, like I say, stick them up there, and we will take them on through. So, first question, John. This is from Moneta in Kilcool. Who is CoffeeDog? Tell us the background, basically the origins, and apparently you're a big hit with the ladies. And Moneta from Kilcool says that you're a very engaging and genuine man, and she wants to know what drives you with this business. So tell us about CoffeeDog. Briefly, how it started, how it started,
genuine,
the origins,
engaging, and single, Marie. Just
well, there you go. I shall pass that back, mate. It's a good job I answer all the questions and the inquiries that come in on the site now, isn't it? I can filter for you.
Yes, coffee grinder.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be honest with you, my background, I'm a chef. I've been a chef for years. I've owned restaurants, cafes, delis. I got into retail then for years, and I had a lovely friend. I still have a lovely friend called Tullio, who is an Italian man who owns a magnificent coffee shop in Bray called Gusto Italiano. A genuine. If you're in Bray, it's a fantastic place. And he was importing coffee from Italy, from Bologna, called Masita, and he was importing all these pods, Nespresso compatible pods. And I was an espresso fan, and I tried them, and it was bloody good. So I helped get him into the likes of Tesco's and Super Value and all that sort of stuff. And we talked more, and we drank more coffee, and then I found the Italians a nightmare to deal with. The transport costs changed. It was just more challenging, and there was no money in it. And then I thought, why am I talking to other people about this? Why don't I try and make a complete fool of myself and see if I can learn how to do this? And I love coffee. I love the process. I love the ethos. And I think if you go into anything with a degree of love, everything else will eventually follow. And it has done so. So I created CoffeeDog. The first one, as you see in the background, the Italian Espresso, that was my first blend, which is a Brazilian and a Colombian blend. And that's the Brazilian and Colombian coffee always go hand in hand. But also there's some Indian parchment, some Robusta, which gives it some depth. And that was basically designed 100% to be just like the kind of coffee you get in a little independent Italian coffee shop, very much like the one that Tullio has. I'm a man of opinions, anarchy fecker, people might say, but I hate the way.
Not the red, clearly.
But I yeah. Thanks, Marie. I hate the way coffee is treated by so many people. I hate the way that you go into a coffee shop and they're advertising pumpkin sauces or hazelnut syrups. If you like coffee, would you not want the flavor to be coffee? The fact that people are having coffee in Vantes, 20 centimeters or whatever it is, like a bucket of coffee, of which there's not much coffee in it. The rest is textured milk and a flavor. I'm sorry, but that's like having a Pravda bag. You're using a label. It's not me. I like coffee because I like the flavor of coffee. I like the process of coffee. I like the love involved in coffee. I like the smell of coffee, the texture of coffee. I like the way you can change the consistency of coffee. If you put the time, the effort, the love, the interest into coffee, you can change it massively. The biggest thing I can. This is coffee. This is Shep's Blends coffee, by the way, which is that man's thing. But the thing I love about coffee, you see on the back of this bag, there's a valve, little valve there. All good coffee bags will have that, and that's designed for one thing. So the gas is emitted because coffee beans are still kind of alive and still developing when they're in there, but the gases can escape. So if you get a coffee bag that's a bit sort of full, you can squeeze it. Air doesn't come in, but when you squeeze that, and you smell that, it's one of the greatest. It's like, for me, it's up there with new baby smell. You know, it is remarkable. It's gorgeous. I actually had a little retail shop years ago, and before I was mad into coffee, I still knew about the smell of coffee. And I used to have a little hot plate hidden beside the door. I used to put coffee beans on there. So when people walk by, the first thing they'd smell was this freshly roasted coffee and be like, oh, I'm going in there. And that was even before I knew about all the other complexities of coffee. So look, I got into coffee because I love it. I didn't get in coffee to make any money, and I've been very successful in that. But coffee is a wonderful thing. It's the nearest thing I can actually compare it to would be wine producers, because it's a very similar process. You take something, you grow it well, you treat it with respect, and then you use a little bit of magic or experience or whatever it is to actually create a different blend, and then you sell it to people who actually really enjoy it and want to enjoy it.
Appreciate it. And
that's all it's about. You know, that's pretty much all it's about. My children is my coffee, and I want the people to have my coffee, to take care of it, appreciate it, love it, or go, look, I don't like it. I'm not going to have it again. That's fine. There's many really, really good independent producers out there. If you don't like my coffee, that's great. Try someone else's. There's a lot of heart out there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things I loved when we first chatted, was the fact that it's your love of coffee. You're not pushing your coffee; you're pushing coffee. And I keep saying to you, "Bloody stop it!" You know, but that's just the way that you are and the way that you do it, which is absolutely fab. CoffeeDog. The other part of the question, CoffeeDog. Where did the name come from and why?
I am a separated man, almost divorced. Thank you, COVID, for delaying that a little bit. And I was married to an incredible woman called Katerina, who is still an incredible woman. She was talking to me today. And we had 2 Labradors, Ruby, who is a black as the dark skies lab and a gorgeous big dog, and Matilda, who, Matty is a blonde, but she was literally the runt of the litter. She was the 13th in a litter, and she's always going to be a puppy. She's 8 now, almost 9. She's always going to be a puppy. Annoying. Her sister, big sister, drives her mad. But the dogs were very much our life. You know, Joe, I know you and your dogs. You get that. Dogs are intricate and integral to everything you do, and they put a huge amount of joy in my heart, and a huge amount of joy. Yeah, there he is. A huge amount of joy with me and Kat, my ex-wife, and it just seemed right that the 2, I should say, 2 of the 3, in fairness to my ex-wife, 2 of the 3 great loves of my life was the coffee and the dogs. And it was actually Katerina's idea to go for that. And luckily enough, my brother owned an advertising, well, he ran an advertising agency at that time. And one of his lovely staff actually created this logo. Funny thing is that I have a very, very close friend who only about 2 months ago realized that is actually the dog, not the not the steam of it. So that's where it came from. It's all about love. You know, it's the brand is about, and I'm a firm believer in this, in any sort of product or whatever you're doing. The brand has to be you. If it's not you, then you have to be McDonald's or Nike or whatever it is. The brand has to be bigger than you. If it's not bigger than you, you have to be the brand. And I am standing up and will stand up every single day of the week and talk about coffee and be attacked about coffee. I will have my opinions. I will have whatever it is. I can be wrong all the time or none of the time, whatever it is. But the brand is me, the dogs. It's just the way it is. And I think it has to come from a place in your heart. If it doesn't come from a place in your heart, then what's the point? If you're taking no joy out of it, because trust me, there's very little money in this, but there is a huge amount of joy in this. A little side sort of thing is, in this lockdown, there's been some really fantastic people who've put together some small websites or Facebook pages for local businesses. There's a couple in Malahide where we're based, Malahide Small Business, and there's a couple of women who've done this, not for no other reason than the fact that they're good people. Sure. And that, I mean, they're really nice people. And you can order my coffee on that, and I will go around to your house the next day with the coffee, and I will ring your doorbell, and I will meet you. And Joe, I cannot stress this enough. It is a joy to meet these people, and it's just lovely. And they give you feedback because they know who you are. You know, I'll get a message then, Johnny, I love that. It's great coffee, but what if happened if I did? And it's brilliant. It's contact, and it's the one thing I think.
Personalizes it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
it
absolutely,
makes
it real, and it gives me a degree of ownership. I own the coffee. I own the issues with the coffee. Yeah. I own the compliments, if there are any. Yeah. But I also own the fact that someone will say, "Do you know what? I didn't like that. I didn't like that." So then I have to go back to them with a different coffee, and I'm delighted to do that. Or a different hot chocolate. I mean, I have. There's a lovely lady. She orders like 4 or 5 bags of hot chocolate off me a week, and it's
hot chocolate nice.
It is nice, yeah. It is very nice. But that's great, and especially now when we're missing so much of the contact. so much of even the physical. I'm a physical guy. I like to hug people. Now we can't do that. But even like standing on someone's doorstep for 5 minutes, complete stranger, you've never met them before, and you're talking about coffee, you're talking about stuff, and it is a genuine joy to do that, and it makes it just so much more real.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a quick look. I hope Moneta from Cool. Thank you very much for your questions.
Thanks, Moneta,
and the compliments to our Johnny there. I'll pass your details on later on. No, it's been filtered in. He's a single man. He would like to point that out to everybody out there. So if you're into coffee, if you're into dogs, helps if you're into rugby. But if you're into coffee and you're into dogs, then there's one good single man going on the market. There you go.
Pina coladas, walking on the beach.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a song coming, isn't there? I can feel a song coming.
Hopefully not from me. The attraction will end there.
Yeah. Well, when I used to sing, I used to call them ghost songs because every song I sung got murdered. Bum bum. Moving on quickly, we had a couple of videos which are in vertical. Have a look at this, Johnny Pullen making coffee.
Good morning. This is Johnny from CoffeeDog, and this is how I have my coffee in the morning. What's in the machine at the moment is Italian espresso, some Colombian and Brazilian in there, very nice, but also a bit of Indian parchment robusta to give it a bit of depth. I use a DeLonghi machine in the morning. It's not their best, but it's a long way from their worst, and it grinds it exactly as you want, and as you see, it goes into the cup. Now, this is just one method of coffee delivery. You have mocha pots, you have French press, you have AeroPress, you have so many different things. But the important thing, is the grind. I think that is the key to all coffee delivery and to the flavor from the coffee. So we're going to talk a little bit later on in the show about coffee grinders and the best grind for your coffee delivery. Thank you, and enjoy your coffee.
There we go. And there'll be more of those. Each month we'll be looking at different types of coffee and all the different blends that you can put together. Well, in fact, all the different blends, actually, two things. All the different blends that CoffeeDog.ie has. And then what I like to do is mixing some of the blends up and why the reasons behind it and what that does and all comes out. And we'll have another video later on the grinding. So the next question we have up on our viewer special tonight. Welcome to tonight's show, the first one of the year from CoffeeDog.ie. I'm here as ever with founder and coffee aficionado Johnny Pullen. I am your host, Big Joe Shep, and it's viewers' questions tonight. They're all there. So we just had the Moneta from Cool on, and we have got Dermot from Tralee. Tralee comes on and gets a little mention. In fact, let's just go bidumph.
Yes.
Come back to that later. The Amaretto tea and coffee in business in Tralee, one of the Johnny supplies, a whole pile of different companies across Ireland, and one of them will come back to those on the partnerships. So what have we got? Dermot from Tralee. Dermot, I hope you're well. Thanks for the questions. What is coffee? Briefly, where does it come from? Is it ethical? And what's a cherry? Had a load of questions on what a cherry is. Johnny, what is coffee? Where does it come from? Is it ethical who you use? And what is a cherry?
Well, a coffee tree is a fruit tree. Simple as that. The cherries are the fruit of the coffee tree, and they are green until they ripen, and then they're red, like most cherries. They vary in different sizes as to different areas. But what you do then is inside is a seed, and that seed is a coffee bean. It's as simple as that. Now, how you get the bean out of the cherry varies quite a lot. There's dry washing, there's wet washing. I have a Costa Rican coffee, which is a really, really sweet one, I think of frails, and that's done with the honey method. Now, the honey method is they take the cherries and they put them on their veranda, and we're talking about verandas here. There's no mass production here. We're talking about verandas, and they leave most of the actual cherry on it, and then they turn it continually. When I say they turn it, I mean they have children, grandmothers, whatever it is, hands and knees turning, because if you don't turn it, it goes moldy. And the flesh between the skin and the actual coffee bean is called, wait for it, mucilage. I know it sounds a bit geeky, but the reason why you do this honeying method is it gets some of the inherent sugars into the bean. So you get a far more interesting and complex flavor profile. It's not necessarily sweeter. As you know, most real natural sugars don't make things sweet. They just add a different profile. So that's what coffee is. It's a fruit. Cherry is the actual fruit of the cherry tree, and the bean is the seed from that. And then once you've washed it and dried it, it's green. And there's a lot of talk out there about how green coffee beans are good for you or not bad for you, or and a lot of it's one of those fatty things. For me, I haven't seen enough definitive research to say yes or no, but I do know it's quite fatty in America, this use of the green coffee. But anyway, once you get the green, it's a question of how you roast it, how long you roast it, how you roast it, as to whether it's a light roast, a dark roast, a medium dark roast. And that's something that it depends on the different types of bean, depends on what sort of structure you're looking for, what sort of blend you're looking for. I do a wonderful Kenyan high altitude one, and we keep that as a medium because it's got so much complexity in there. You don't want it to be bullied by, once again, we're talking almost like it's wine. You know, you get some of these Australian wines that are put out there in 30, 35, 40 degree heat, and they come in, they're 15.5% alcohol, and they are really nice at times. But at times you're like, do you know what? That's just a little bit too much, especially if you're eating food. It can be a little bit, it can take away the flavor of the food, and coffee is exactly the same. And don't be afraid, and I do go off on tangents, I know that, Joe, but also don't be afraid to have different coffees at different times of day. I mean, the SHEPs blend you have, which we made for you, for me, it's the perfect breakfast blend.
Sure.
And I am a divil for having coffee all day long, and at different times and different moods as well. So that's what coffee is. Ethical, yes and no. The coffee trade is and has through history been exceptionally challenging. There's a very good book called Black Gold out there, which I'm halfway through, and it's going through the history of coffee, and it is a very interesting and dark times there. The people I deal with are 99% they're co-ops, and the reason why they're co-ops is because they're small, very small holders. I mean, they're tiny little. Most of these guys have farms that are less than an acre, half an acre even. And so they group together to actually take the coffee, sell the coffee as a co-op, so they actually have a little bit more bargaining power. For me in the future, and we talked about this last year, and it was a hope for me that I would be able to start buying serious coffee off these guys directly. Which means they could get a far better price for it, and I would feel and sleep better at night. At the moment, that's starting to become a goal rather than a thought. It's something that is being worked upon, and I'm talking to some people about it. Because with anything, any product, any commodity, the more people involved until it gets to the end user, the more money the grower loses. And when we're talking about these guys, we're talking about $1 or $2 grand a year they're making, if that. And people talk about, well, what about fair trade? What about organic? In order for them to have those sort of things, they have to be certified. In order to be certified, they have to pay for certification. And when it comes, it's huge money, and it's ridiculous. Coffee, there's no real fertilizers, artificial fertilizers used anyway, because there's very few unnatural predators. So, 99% of all coffee is organic anyway. Just the small growers, the small holders, they can't afford to get that registered. So you'll see a lot of the big guys out there, and they've got their organic coffee. I'm not going to mention names because Joe gives out to me. But a lot of these big companies have this stuff, and that's fine. It's a marketing tool for them, and I get it and I understand it. There are some smaller Irish companies who do fair chain, and they have invested a lot of money, a lot of time in it, and I think it's brilliant, and I support them 1,000%. And that is something that I and Coffee Dog will definitely be, and we're moving closer to it every single day. We're talking to people now, and it just, I just don't see what the question is. What if I can do it, and the only reason I can't do it is because I need to have X amount of money to buy X amount of coffee, so it can come over in a container rather than a 60-kilo sack.
Yeah. No, I get that completely. And obviously, it was a bit of a loaded question. The question was asked from Dermot and Trelly, and we thank you for that. But yeah, anything else you want to know? It is one of the things I love about what Johnny and CoffeeDog.ie do is helping those small producers in little places across the world where, like I say, 1 to 2,000 that's what they make a year for them and their family, and it's all done by hand. It just, I can understand why you're trying to move forward and do more to help them, that they can get more from that.
But I do want to say I'm not a saint. Part of the reason why I don't deal with these people is because that's where the really good coffee is.
Like anything, isn't it?
Yeah, when you have families involved in small plots,
absolutely.
When you have like the families picking it, and look, this is all these small ones, it's all hand picked, individually picked. So yes, it would make me sleep better at night knowing my money's going direct to these guys, but it also makes the coffee taste better.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So that is coffee. What is it? The origins of it. What is a cherry? We now know coffee is from the coffee. It's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
And the cherry is the we're going to sort of go into that a little bit more as the months go on. So that's very, very good. So Dermot in Tralee, thanks very much for that question there, and a little bit. I'm glad it was a little bit more lengthy than we planned, because I think talking about the ethical aspects to coffee that's out there and why you want to go and put your money into one of the big players, great, but you know what? Invest in yourself, invest in small people, get some quality coffee and do the right thing. Local, then global, where possible, is what we should be doing as we are moving forward. Okay, before we have the next video, which is on one of the grinders, Steve the painter, he didn't say where he was from, said, join partnerships with coffee producers and other local businesses. Why is it important to you? Again, people have heard you talk about this a lot. Why? So, for example, you've got a joint venture with me. Obviously, you've got a joint venture with Rose. I always get embarrassed when I say with Rose Clever Co, but that's her name. Well, that's her Facebook name anyway. Makes this beautiful, beautiful handmade stuff.
Incredible ceramics.
Oh, it's stunning, absolutely stunning, and we will be getting her on a show to talk about that. Loads more coming over the next few months with suppliers and producers and customers and clients, and absolutely special. Why does that drive you as well? Working with people like Rose and others and Kiki, and what is it about that the small joint venture with like-minded people, John, that is important to you?
You said it exactly there. Like-minded people. It's all about passion. It's all about passion. It's about giving a rat's ass about what you do. It's about doing the best you can do. The people I deal with and the people I know and the people you've met and talked to as well, almost all of them have exactly the same. They started the same way. They liked doing it. They loved doing it. They wanted, or they saw something they thought they could do better, or they were like Kika. It makes the most remarkably crazy, incredibly intricate cakes, and she's just a really talented girl who's turned her talent into her business, and that's brilliant. Rose, I mean, this mad, she's bonkers and gorgeous and lovely, and she has the most wonderful partner who is he's just a really strong, straight guy, and he's like, yeah, well, what am I going to do? But the whole thing is it's the same as me. It's about love. It's about you go to bed thinking about something and you wake up with a new idea. It's about, you get you've done a new blend of coffee and you smell it the first time. And you're like, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. But and I trust these people because they have the same desire, passion, and love. None of these people are going to screw you over because they don't even think about the money. If you can make a couple of quid out of this, it's brilliant. But it's not that. It really isn't that. It's about doing what you love, and it's about that time where you meet someone face to face or married on this sort of thing, and they go, "Do you know what? I like what you." No, I don't. I love what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can taste the passion of what you do. You can take one of Rose's beautifully ceramic mugs, and none of them are absolutely the same, and you can feel her passion, her love for it, and there's Mel,
personally and individually crafted.
Absolutely. Mel, who was going to be on here tonight, but was a little bit nervous, and she makes these incredible crocheted hats. And I mean, how much love and you're physically creating something. That's ridiculous. To be able to take something from your heart, physically create it, give it to someone, and they go, "I like that so much, I'm going to give you money for that." Now, that's a bloody good way to make a living.
It is indeed. It is. So we'll combine the next two things together. So building up from the joint partnership stuff that you're doing, we looked at, and both of these will be coming on over the next couple of months. But you provide to retail businesses throughout Ireland. Two of them. One of them is down in Tralee. Yep. Amaretto Tea and Coffee Packs in Tralee. Tell us a little bit about those.
Amaretto is a really funky little place, and they support a lot of small producers like me in both tea and coffee. They also do wonderful stuff with really funky teapots and coffee pots, and they're just a lovely little company. And I've been dealing with Ilona there for a couple of years now. She's an absolutely gorgeous woman. She's really nice. She's really into it as well, and it's a pleasure to deal with. And I'm the worst businessman in the world. I won't do business with people I don't like or trust, who aren't into it for the right reasons. And that's a terrible way to run a business. Absolutely appalling. But this is the coffee I make is the coffee I make. It's the coffee I create, and I want to pass that on to someone who's going to treat it with the respect and love that I feel it deserves. And like I say, that's a terrible way to do business. Absolutely appalling. But it just, I love meeting these people, and there's a huge amount of them out there. Get Fresh in Bray. It's right beside Gusto Italiano, where Giulio's place is. Cormac, Richie, they're just really good guys, and they do fantastic fruit and veg, and they were the first people to buy my coffee off me. And they still buy it off me, and it still goes out through there. Kigo buys his coffee, my coffee, from there. It's a pleasure to deal with these people. And you go there, you deliver, and they'll just say, well, what's going on? Have you got this? What do you think about that? Are you thinking on do? And it just makes me feel comfortable passing my baby onto these people to look after. And it's. Yeah, I could probably have a lot more money and a lot more people out there selling my coffee, but I am stupidly precious about it. And
I think we have got a plan in 2021 and beyond to have at least one location in every one of the 32 counties across the island of Ireland, and then within each county, like for example Wexford, we have 4 county towns, New Ross, Enniscorthy, Wexford and Gorey, and we will have one in each of them, and that is the plan moving forward. So if you own a coffee shop or a cafe or a snack place or a pub, or when everything is reopening again, then get in touch with us at CoffeeDog.ie and we will speak to you. If you are a shop, if you are a small supermarket, if you're independent, if you're not independent, then get in touch with us anyway, because it's just expanding and expanding more and more. So hence the reason having to put stuff into place.
We're interested in being partners with you.
Absolutely.
We're not interested in dumping stuff off and walking away. We're interested in growing the product, looking after you, looking after your customers, giving you free stock to taste, giving your customers. It's got to be organic growth, and organic growth will only happen when people are happy and try stuff, and it moves on that way. And Absolutely. Look, if you're interested, great. We don't do the hard sell. But if you want, we'd be delighted to talk to you or delighted to send you stuff, whatever it is.
And if likewise for a lot of the people who follow us and buy from you, if you've got family or friends or people who've got small businesses, and you believe that they would benefit from, like we do, excellent coffee, then again, get in touch with Johnny and the team, and we'll be able to help you out there. So again, Tralee, Amaretto Tea and Coffee in Tralee. If you're down that way, call in and get some coffee and see what else they've got and have a chat with them and get to know them and support local. And then we have also got Moneta Deli in Sutton Cross, which is, tell us a little bit about Moneta Deli.
Oh, this is huge to my heart. I have to say, these people are. I dropped in samples to them over a 3 or 4 month period. I don't do a hard sell. These are two sisters, Nicola and Deborah. They run a incredible place. The food is incredible. They genuinely are massively passionate about what they do, and they tried the samples and they got back to me. They now. I'm their coffee supplier, and they take the Kenyan high altitude. The Kenyan high altitude, this is a mark of how good they are. Kenyan high altitude coffee is a superb coffee. I doubt there's many other delis, coffee shops in Ireland who would put their nuts on the line to do something like that. Any high altitude coffee is hand picked. It's got the purest water. There's no pollution. And if it's hand picked, it means they're taking exactly. And it's from Kenya. The one thing the Brits did brilliantly when they left Kenya was they left an incredible civil service, and they left some brilliant quality control on coffee even when they left. So, but these girls are brilliant, and they are a true delight to deal with. They are passionate about what they do. They're passionate about their customers. They're wonderful on social media. The food, every time I go there to deliver, I end up walking away probably spending more money on the food than I've made on the coffee. And anyone who's been there, they know these people. They are iconic. They're fantastic. They do a deviled crab and Gruyere toasted sandwich, which I guarantee you, Joe, is the best sandwich you've ever ate in your life. It is ridiculous. I can't
wait till this drawdown finishes and get ready again and go to something. I'm going to have to do a 6 month road trip just around Ireland to go and visit some of the places that we've met with people over the last year alone.
The day they said, yes, we want to take your coffee, we want it to be our coffee, was one of the best days of my life. And I'm not joking there. You can talk to I was so, not because it meant good sales, but because these people who I genuinely respect and genuinely love their product have looked at my product and said, yes, this is something that's good enough for us. And I was like, whew. I won't say I had a manly tear because I'm a man, so obviously I didn't. But it was one of the best days CoffeeDog has ever had, and they've been so great supporting and promoting. And no, they're just brilliant. And these are the people, and there's huge amounts of them out there, more so now than ever. And it's just a question of getting into these people.
Absolutely. Well, we'll continue doing that. So that is Moneta Deli in Sutton Cross and in County Dublin. So get along there as well if you're in that neck of the woods or if you're traveling through and see. Right, we've got another video to play you about coffee grinders, and we're going to sort of cover over the next few months a whole pile of them. My apologies for this. I threw this at Johnny very much at the last moment. And here's another one from the great Johnny Pullen.
Now, we were talking earlier about grinders and how important it is to grind your own beans for each different method of coffee delivery. Now, this is a basic grinder. You can buy these, sometimes Lidl have them on sale for about 20, 25 euros. And as you can see, they use blades. This is a basic one. It does a good job. Obviously, when you're, let's say, doing your own seal pods, you want to ground as thinly and small as possible. If you're doing AeroPresses, then a little bit more. If you're doing a French press, then it doesn't matter because you're actually soaking or steeping the coffee in the hot water. It extracts all the flavors. Now, better than this would be a burr grinder, which uses like 2 gears. They're more expensive. It can go up to 400 or 500 euros. But the great thing about all grinders is that you can take them and use them and create your own blends. You can put in 2 or 3 different types of beans. What I would suggest is you write down notes on this and you can create your own blend. If you like a bit of Brazilian, a bit of Colombian, mess around with it. Create your own blend. It's the great thing about coffee. All of us would like to make our own wine, but we can't. Coffee, we can make our own coffee. Okay, back to the show.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much joining us tonight. I am your host, Big Joe Shep. I'm here with founder and coffee aficionado and all-round decent egg, Johnny Pullen from CoffeeDog.ie. The first in the 2021 series of the Coffee and Chat. Episode 8 in all. And we'll be back every single month and move to a new time slot on a Sunday, roughly the same time of the month. But follow, join the team, join the family. Ask questions, join and find out what's going on at CoffeeDog.ie through the website or at CoffeeDog.ie and on Facebook and on Instagram and all the usual locations online. Okay, thanks very much for people who've been joining us tonight. I want to finish off though, John. We had loads and loads of questions. People love to be part of your story. People love to be part of stories of success for small, local and artisan businesses, especially in the last 12 months, and people have really supported as well. What's planned for the rest of 2021? We're starting to get somewhere in the moving forward, and we're hoping by the end of the year. So, but what else have you got planned for 2021 that you can share with us just now?
I think the main thing is joining things up. It's time I got out of the mad professor's blending room and got out there and met some more people and talked some more about the actual coffee I want to sell them. The selling to Joe Public is going well, both online and both on the local Facebook pages and groups, and it's going very well. I have met last week a couple of places, both retail and takeaway at the moment, obviously takeaway food places with coffee. And yes, it's moving on slowly. I need to get out there and meet these people. I need to introduce them to what we're doing, and I need to infuse them with the same enthusiasm I have. And in fairness, a lot of times I don't have to do that because these people are so into what they're doing. They may not be idiots and coffee people like me, but they might be wine people, they might be bread people, they might be whatever it is, but they just want to have that same sort of, you're drinking a glass of wine there, Joe. Where'd you get the wine from? Is it those people you support?
Yes.
Exactly. You want to have that trust. You know, when you picked up that glass of wine, when the wine that was delivered to you, Joe supports these coffee wine angels.
I'm wine, yeah, Naked Wines.
Naked Wines.
And interestingly, I pay a set amount of money each month, and they support small wine growers and developers across the globe. And there's a number of them out there, but I've been using Naked Wines for a number of years now. I can't get it delivered to the south of Ireland. I pay my money each month and keep supporting them. And then when somebody does come across, eventually, if it's all stocked out, sort of twice or 3 times a year, we'd order a stockload of pictures, a pile of money, a pile there. And actually, sometimes we'd have it delivered to other people in the UK and say, here's a gift. Here's a crate of wine for you. Because we amass some money. But it's nice to do that. It's the same thing. And just because currently they can't ship it to the south, it just means that somebody will bring it across. Yep. Or go to the last time we had somebody was visiting the north. So I went to the north. Then we went before the lockdown, and we went and sort of collected it all. In fact, we had the very last delivery. A friend of ours runs she's a CBD supplier in Belfast. I'm falling to your trap now, digressing a bit, but we had the wine delivered there, and then literally just 24 hours after it'd been delivered and planned to go up there, we went into lockdown, the first lockdown. So she took the wine, and she just transferred me. I said, look, just transfer to me the same cost that I paid for it.
Yeah.
And delighted. But it's easy to do those type of things. You're still supporting Naked Wines. You're still supporting as a wine angel, small amounts across the globe. That's what all of this is about for us, John.
And doesn't the wine taste better?
Oh, I think so. I think so.
But knowing you're
it's almost like you own a bit of it.
Exactly. Knowing that you're supporting this, knowing that how it feels. It's probably an excellent glass of wine anyway, but there's also a degree of your heart in that wine as well, and that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm planning for. That's what I'm going for. And I genuinely think we're in the process, at the very start of a process, but in the process of a revolution when it comes to retail in not just Ireland, but all over the world. It has to be that way. The big players have got to adapt, and they are adapting, but also there is a huge amount of footprint room, and I think people are actually thinking a lot more about stuff, not just wine or coffee, but they're looking at and look, with Brexit and all that, you're going to have to look at this. Look at the veg in your local store. Why can't I get kiwi? Because it comes from bloody miles away. Have something else. There's a huge amount of wonderful fruit and vegetable available in Ireland and England and other places. There's a huge amount of all sorts of things. And I think there is not just opportunities, actually, no, more importantly than opportunities for people like me, producers and retailers, there's opportunities for the people who consume things to actually do it in a better way, to do it in a more ethical way. And it's nice to have that feeling when you're having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or a ratatouille, whatever it is, and it tastes good, but you also feel good because you're supporting a local supplier, you're supporting local people, you're helping employ people who live in your town. The tax that is being paid on this is going towards your road outside. The potholes being filled, and maybe the tax I pay is paying for a little bit of that. And if it tastes good, what's the issue? And I guarantee you, my margin's a lot smaller than some of these big boys. So I am very competitive. And if you're a retailer or a wholesaler or a cafe or a restaurant, I guarantee you I can give you a good deal because I don't have the overheads. I don't have the costs. It's me. And you've seen how I dress. There's no silk shirts here. And definitely, although I shouldn't say this, I had my hair cut and my beard trimmed today, so I shouldn't really slag that. This is as pretty as I get.
Which my red smoking cool, absolutely. We end the show as we started with a shout out for my red from cool. And thank you to everybody for all the questions we've had tonight. It's been a bit of a reintroduction as to what the viewers wanted to understand a little bit about Johnny, Coffee Dog, where the name came from, the origins of the business, and why, what drives you, what is coffee, the ethics around sort of coffee, and the people that you personally are working and help small producers across the globe. What is a cherry? We now know it is coffee is from it's a fruit. Yeah. And that's where the cherry comes from. And then working with local businesses and local partnerships like
Moneta Deli, Nicola and Deborah, they are goddesses. They're wonderful.
In fact, actually, I'm going to look. I've got it, and we've got
Amaretto
Tea and Coffee in Tralee.
Fantastic place.
There we go. Back up in the lights, Moneta Deli and Sutton Cross. So there we go. That's all very, very good. On next month's show, we will be looking at recipes. We'll be looking at a different coffee blend. We will have a special guest on, somebody that John partners with. And if you're a client or a customer, and you want to come on and tell everybody about how good it is and why and what your favorite one is, then just contact John or myself or any of the team through Facebook or directly, and we will sort of get in touch with you and give you a slot on the show to come and join us. And as we move forward, really excited on some ideas and rest. do you know, it's amazing the amount of things that, you know, when you got a bit of coffee left in the pot and you put I'd say, well, last week I did I eat a vegan meal sort of once a week now, or maybe twice a week, just as something different. And I make a very, 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 very good black bean bourguignon.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's really deep and unctuous.
I've seen your pictures of it.
I say on myself, it's deep and unctuous. And actually, I don't miss them eating it after that one day a week. But to give a bit of depth of flavour, I put some coffee in. And you know what? Just absolutely love it. Anyway, lots of recipes coming. People are coming. We'll be looking at
next time, I will give a very good recipe for a barbecue rub, which involves coffee. Barbecue season's coming, people, and coffee is a wonderful part of a barbecue rub. Really, really good stuff.
We're going to do more pre-recordings as well, aren't we? We're going to recipes. We're going to be talking about different styles of coffee.
Dancing. Not dancing. No, not dancing. No.
Look, I've obviously looked after her well today on Mother.
It's the boss. The boss has been on.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a fab meal. It is a fab meal, and I always make enough, so we put a pot into the freezer with it. So it's just lovely, especially when it's straight out of the pot with some, you know, tearing sourdough bread or something. And oh man, there we go. I'm drooling almost as much as one of your viewers and followers. There's probably no doubt tonight. So there's loads more to come. If there's something that you would like to see, or you got a question for Johnny about coffee or about anything to do with it, or about the types of coffee and different styles of coffee, as Johnny said at the beginning of the show, there are different times of the day when different coffees particularly suit different things, like Shep's blend, made in the image of my good self. I am Joe Shep.
Genuinely made in his image.
Absolutely.
And with all the bad and that involved, but it's something I'm actually quite proud of, because he is he looks and likes to make himself out to be something different, but he is a very complex man. He's a lovely man. He's got a massive heart. He's a big nasty bugger as well, but he's got a massive heart there. So I think we matched quite a lot of that there, and it's the Ethiopian Jimba. Ethiopian coffee is it's the birthplace of coffee, really, and they actually have coffee trees growing wild there. It's madness. But the Ethiopian coffee, because it's so pure, it's been around for so long, it's got this weird fruitiness to it. And so you've got this big, I'm going off again, I'm sorry, but it's got this big Brazilian and Colombian musculature to it. And then it's got this sort of, not soft center, but a complex center to it with the Ethiopian Jimba. And then we've dark roasted it. So it literally, it's like it's grabbed you by the collar and going, wake up, and then kissed you on the lips.
And
a kiss on the lips as well.
And that is a good reason to wake up with Shep every single morning.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that, Jill? Any comments there, Jill?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can wake up now with Shep officially and correctly and rightly every morning with Shep's Blend. To get Shep's Blend and all of the other range of coffees in ground or in beans themselves and the different styles are all explained. Go to the website CoffeeDog.ie or send us a message on Facebook at CoffeeDog.ie. Until next month, Johnny Pullen, thank you as ever, mate. Been a great crack as usual. Have a good luck this week, and we look forward to being back. Everybody, please stay safe. Shop local, then global where possible. And Joe Lyons, I always think this one over there. There's Joe streaming from the west wing of his Power Court mansion. Jesus, I wish I was. In fact,
it's quite close to the truth, I think.
It's not far from the truth at all. I think actually somebody, where's my good friend Gregor Galway from up in Ulster? Good man, he said. No, yeah, he's got a spot on Chatsworth House in the background there.
The legend that is Gregor. The legend that is Gregor.
The legend such a good man. Gregor Galway. Just an absolute fab man. Huge friend to the ThreeBOD rugby group and to CoffeeDog.ie, and just an all-round good man.
Really good mate. Really good mate.
Absolutely. Good. Right. So that's us until next month. Johnny, good luck this week. We'll keep in touch with everybody, and if there's something you would like to see, a recipe, a type of coffee, a question, what's the best type of grinder to buy for you? What's the best type, French press or a blah, blah, or a blah, blah? Ask the question, guys, because it's the same question that everybody else will like to know. I think,
and it is important. It is massively important. Every different way you have of putting, Joe's going to give out to me now, we're making us run over, but every way you have coffee, you have a different grind to it. It's so important. If you've got a machine like I have, it's finely ground, like you get in any sort of a coffee shop, because the water is high pressurized through it, so it can extract it out. If you have a French press, it's a sort of a medium grind, because the coffee's infused there before you push it down. If you've got a mocha, it's got to be. But I mean, things like where are we? The seal pods I sell, which are reusable Nespresso ones. Don't buy ground coffee, because ground coffee that you buy in the shops is designed for French presses. It's really good, but it's like a medium grind. You need to grind it down to nothing, because you need as much coffee to touch as much water as possible to extract as much flavor as possible. And I'm sorry, Joe, I've gone off again. Sorry.
That's no problem. I love our 30-minute shows. I'm just as bad. But that's what happens. That's what happens. We get asked by a lot of people now, can we provide them support on these type of things? Because it is a very, very simple way of being able to get the message to your clients, to your customers, the current ones and those who want to avail of the products that you've got. So again, if you've got a small business out there, or you know somebody who has, and they are struggling to get the message out that they are still open, then get hold of through Johnny or directly through myself, and we will have a chat on how we can do these live streaming online events. It is the fastest growing way to be able to online video, to be able to get the message out to your customers and to your family and to your friends. And on that, 57 minutes, not bad. Just 27 minutes over.
58 now. And we haven't finished yet. We're going to hit the hour. I knew it.
We're going.
We have to go.
Yes. Everybody, stay safe. Keep doing what you need to do so we can get out of this as soon as we can. Then we can give each other a big bloody hug. Until then, go to CoffeeDog.ie and learn more about it. Send us questions. Send us suggestions. Send us ideas. I've been your host, Big Joe Shep. This is the legendary Johnny Pullen from CoffeeDog. Until next week. Until next month. Until next month. We'll see you soon. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.